you're an e-commerce brand running either shopping or Performance Max campaigns, this video is for you. In this video, I'm going to show you the exact framework that we use internally for our Google Ads agency and have used for the last 24 months to generate over 40 million in revenue for our clients through both shopping and Performance Max. Now, if done correctly, the best part about this strategy is that it can increase sales and increase profit and increase ROAS without you actually having to spend more on ads. Now, over the last 24 months, we've audited over 200 ad accounts, and the average ad account spending $10,000 a month, we found to be wasting $1.5 to $2,500 a month in advertising spend through inefficient campaign structures or mismanagement of budget or prioritization of low quality SKUs. And in this video, we're going to show you how to structure your campaigns to essentially avoid that. And that will give you that extra 15 to 25% to spend on your top performing products, which means more sales, more profit without you actually having to increase your advertising budget. Let's dive straight in. So first and foremost, let's answer the question, why does structure matter so much inside Google Shopping and Performance Max campaigns? And why should you even watch this video all the way through? Well, as much as Google would like you to believe that Shopping and Performance Max are very much set it and forget it, if you're an e-commerce brand and you're spending, 10K to 500K plus a month on Google Shopping and PMAX campaigns, and they're not segmented, you're losing out massively. Low returns, low ROAS, revenue will take a bit of a hit as well. And the reason being is because you can't control what products get shown when, you can't prioritize budget, and you can't message match. Time and time again, when we're auditing e-commerce accounts, we find that they're using one PMAX campaign with all products housed in it, or at best, they're using category-specific Performance Max campaigns, which is one step further, but again, still doesn't prioritize profit and spend. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to jump into my screen and show you the exact structure that we use to work with 7 and 8 figure direct-to-consumer brands, helping them to scale through shopping and Performance Max. And this is the same structure that we use to generate over 40 million over the last 12 months through our clients. So let's dive straight into this and we can go through it in detail. Okay, so what I am going to show you here is essentially a jewelry brand that we've recently taken over and the performance improvements that we've been able to make through implementing this new strategy versus the campaign structure that they used to historically have in place. Now, I'm just going to give you a brief overview as to the performance improvements that we've been able to achieve using this strategy versus the old one, so you can get a gauge as to how it might improve your performance for your account. This is and can be replicated for almost every single niche. And so if you've got products, maybe you're in the homeware niche or you're selling apparel, you're not selling jewelry in this particular case, this will still work perfectly for you. This structure can be implemented for you and you can do it internally and see a huge performance uplift. So let's dive straight into it. For this particular brand, last 30 days, Shopify revenue's up 57%, total orders are up 48%, and Google revenue is up 55%. Now, if I zoom into the campaigns themselves on Google, you can see here that conversion value is up 55%, like I say, and every single one of our campaigns, when resegmented, have improved in conversion value and decreased in their cost per conversion. We're really, really happy with the performance of this account. They've done over 416 sales over the last 30 days, and I'm going to show you exactly how you can replicate it. They're not spending a huge amount either. It's a fairly small e-commerce account, so it's easy to relate to, right? So let's dive into the sort of historic campaign structure and why it didn't work. So this is what we see time and time again when we're auditing e-commerce accounts, and they tend to just have maybe 1 or 2 campaigns at best, and they are basketing all products together, or they're basketing, if not all products, they're basketing categories together. Now, how does this affect performance and how can we improve it? So the old campaign structure, what doesn't work and why it doesn't work is that it mixes the good products and the bad products together. So we've got, in this case, bracelets in the same campaign as we've got rings. Now, bracelets for this particular client do over 80% of their revenue. They're a really big mover for them. Rings, on the other hand, they are low average order value and they don't sell too much of them. So they don't want to prioritize rings. Profit margins aren't as good either. So essentially, by having the campaign set up the way that they previously were, we had absolutely no control as to where the budget goes. and we were basketing all products in one campaign. So the good, the bad, and the ugly all included in one campaign. It's really hard to tell what's working, generic message matching, and essentially just waste money on underperforming products as well. Because as an example, we tend to see the 80-20 rule in most accounts, whereby 80% of the inventory is underperforming and 20% does incredibly well for them. So, 20% of the inventory props up 80% of the entire site-wide performance. So we can't prioritize best sellers in this campaign. So what does this mean for your account? Essentially, it means a lower ROAS overall. So high performance SKUs are getting lumped in with low performance ones. Higher CPCs, so Google can't identify the best products to prioritize. So you're bidding inefficiently across mixed quality products. Less exposure on your best performing products. Like I mentioned, your hero products, which are your best sellers, are not getting enough spend. And there's a lot more waste in campaigns like this. Your underperforming products are still getting a lot of spend distribution, and we can't control the spend on them. So essentially, weak insights equals poor decisions, and campaigns aren't structured to isolate your top performing products. So how do we improve this, and how did we improve this for this particular client? So this is the old campaign structure, like I mentioned, and then this is the new campaign structure that we've just implemented for them. So I'll zoom in a little bit for you, and we will go one by one. So what we tend to do when we're working with a client is we will go through and we will audit their account, and we will profit map everything. What we want to do is we want to understand which products are driving sales, meaningful returns, so high revenue, high ROAS, which products are driving high ROAS but low revenue, vice versa, which products are driving a high revenue but a low ROAS, and then which products are just low revenue, low ROAS, underperforming products. For this particular client, we essentially audited their account, we downloaded their product data list, and essentially we then mapped their clear structure using KPIs. So they are trying to achieve a 4x return on their advertising spend. So we benchmarked to 3.5x on their hero products. So anything that we would consider a hero product, which gets put into their hero bestseller campaign, is over 500 in revenue over a 90-day period and over a 3.5x return on their advertising spend. So these products we know are strong movers, top performers, and they're also high profit margin as well, high ROAS. So they get basketed in their own campaign. They get added into their own campaign, which we can then choose the budget on, we can increase the budget on, and prioritize those best sellers, like I mentioned, the 80-20 rule. Then we've got the sidekicks. So the sidekicks are essentially anything that's got a really high ROAS, but it might have only had 1 or 2 sales. It's low revenue. So these are strong potential products, but they might not be getting enough exposure, or vice versa, they might have just got a lucky sale. Either which way, we're basketing them together and we're giving them a decent amount of spend. Again, we're then message matching on the ad group level. So we're making sure that we are tailoring the messaging. Anyone searching for bracelets is going to see bracelet copy. Anyone searching for necklaces is going to see necklace copy. The same for earrings and the same for rings. And we can message match audience insights as well. Audience signals. So the audience signals will be tailored towards that particular ad group, which improves the quality score and performance of the ads. So essentially the villains campaign as well. So that's low ROAS products. That's anything that has a low ROAS but high revenue. So that's anything that's got, in this particular case, over 500 in revenue, but just a low ROAS. They're fast movers, but low return, low profit. They get bundled into their own campaign, again with the same structure, so we can message match. And then we have the zombies campaign. In this particular case, the zombies campaign is anything below 2x ROAS and below 500 in revenue. These are low moving products, they're low traction products. Now, we also have to consider that if the product titles aren't optimized, it might be just they're not getting traction because the product titles aren't optimized and they're not getting exposure. For instance, if clients decide to call, they come up with weird and wonderful names for their products and their inventory and maybe the colors, they tend to struggle to appear in searches because, as we know, the search is triggered by the headline. So if your product is not configured correctly and the title is not configured correctly for a general searcher, you might find that you're not actually getting exposure on products and they're not spending, and they could perform well, but the title is just unoptimized from a search perspective. So do bear that in mind. But in this particular case, we're optimizing those product titles, and we're taking into account anything that hasn't had too many searches at this point. It's got low traction because it might just be title optimization, prioritization that needs to be done. But in this case, this is where a lot of the time zombie campaigns are where the money is made and the spend is stopped. So when I mentioned to you that we tend to find that there's anywhere between 1.5k and 2.5k in wasted budget in an account spending 10k a month, this is where it comes from. Tends to be where it comes from, these zombie campaigns. So it's the products that are just not performing for you and they're not driving meaningful returns, and they've been left in an account for a very long time, and it's death by 1,000 cuts. Like I mentioned, you might have 10, 15, 20 bracelets that are all just not generating sales for you, but they're spending a bit every single month, dragging down the returns, dragging down the ROI, and ultimately putting less, the ROAS will take a hit as a result of that. It also means that you tend to be able to take any inefficiencies in spend through underperforming SKUs. You can take that budget and you can then throw that budget into the Heroes campaign, or you can throw it into the Psychics campaign or the Villains. But you can essentially give more budget to what you have shown and proven to be working, which allows you to unlock more profit, more revenue without increasing your advertising spend. That's essentially the campaign structure and the method that we would use. Like I say, the new campaign structure, best performing products get the most budget, easy to scale what's working, so you can double down budget on what's working, clearer data, so better performance as a result of that, creative matching for product performance, so you can more accurately match creatives as well. You could go one stage deeper as well. Instead of just bracelets, it could be ad groups further. We've got them here for men's, women, and kids. So we're not talking about men's bracelets when we're advertising a women's bracelet. The same goes for kids. They will have different ad copy for different products, and so we're message matching. We're making sure that when people are searching for a children's bracelet, they're not getting advertised ad copy for the men's bracelet range. Otherwise, you have to be really generic, and it can harm performance. So essentially, that is how we would improve performance using the Touchpoint method. If you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to drop them in the comments below. I'd be more than happy to help out anyone. At this stage, it's a very new YouTube channel, so I appreciate any support that you can give me, likes, comments, shares, subscribes, the lot at this point. So thank you so much. If you've got value from this, I'd appreciate you let me know. And if you've got any questions, by all means, like I said, put them in the comments below, and new videos will follow every week. Thank you so much.